Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So I have a pretty interesting story time for you guys today. Today's story time involves an old friend of mine's mother. And, I've told story times countless times on this channel about my friend's parents, about my parents, but this dude's mom was something else. Something that I just can't even explain. So I'm just going to jump right into it and tell this story time. If you enjoy this story time, leave a like on the video, and let's just jump right into it. So today's story time all starts off as a normal day in 2016. 2016 was a dope year. Besides this thing happening, it was a really dope year. And, all starts off as a normal day. I'm sitting in my room watching some TV, and one of my friends texts me. Let's just call his friend Ryan, okay? Now, I had been friends with Ryan for about a year. His family seemed really cool. They seemed to like me. I liked them. His family was just like a very normal, classic family. You know what I mean? Like, just straight out of like a movie or some shit. Now, I'm sitting in my room watching some TV, and Ryan texts me, and he's like, yo, man, you want to come spend the weekend at my house this weekend? I was like, yeah, for sure. So he's like, all right, bet. Like, come over tonight at like 8. I'm like, all right. So I packed up my stuff, I got everything ready, and I went over to Ryan's house. Now, Ryan's house was a very nice house. He had a lot of nice things. He came from a family that was pretty well off. I wouldn't call them like super rich, but I would definitely say that they had more money than the average family in my hometown. But they weren't like super like, boasting about it. They didn't show off a lot or anything like that. They just had a few nice things. And it was always fun going over there because they let me use those nice things. For example, Ryan's family had a dirt bike. And your boy would rev that shit up and drive that thing any chance he could get, because I like dirt biking. So anyway, I get to Ryan's house. I walk inside the house. His mom greets me. She gives me a hug. She tells me that she's making dinner, and if I'm hungry, feel free to set a plate down for myself. And I wasn't very hungry, so I didn't do that. But I still sat there at the table with them and talked to them while his whole family was there. And yeah, it was always a really nice time talking to his family. His mom was asking me about YouTube. She was asking me about how it's been for me. I told her it was going really well. She was happy for me. And the same thing with his dad. And then after we eat dinner, Ryan's mom was like, shit, I have to go to the mall. I have to buy something. She didn't tell me what it was. She just said that she had to buy something and that it was urgent. And then she asked me if me and Ryan wanted to go. And I was like, what about you, Ryan? What do you think? And he's like, yeah, man, there's nothing else to do in this city. Let's do it. So me, Ryan, and his mom hopped in her car and we went to the mall together. We get there, and we find out Ryan's mom was there to buy a hoodie. Yes, a hoodie. That was her idea of an urgent purchase. She bought this basic ass, plain ass hoodie from this store at the mall that sold like the same hoodie year round, and they had like 60 of them in stock. I don't know why she was rushing to buy this fucking hoodie, but she did. Anyway, after she buys this hoodie, we go to the food court, we sit down, and my friend orders a milkshake. My friend Ryan, he sits down at the table with us, he's drinking his milkshake, and his mom asked me, Austin, do you want anything? Like, do you want a milkshake too? I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get one. And I stand up to go buy it, and I'm taking out my wallet, and she's like, hey, stop. Just give me your card. I'll go buy it for you. Like, don't stand in line. Just sit here. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, thank you so much. And she takes my debit card, and she walks off and goes and gets me a milkshake with it. Now, I didn't think anything of this. I thought it was just my friend's mom doing a nice deed for me, taking my card, going up there, buying it for me, standing in line for me, rather than, making me do it. So I thought she was just being a nice lady, like she always is. But she walked back to the table, sets my card down with my milkshake. I thank her for it. And then fast forward 2 days later. 2 days later, the weekend's ending. I went back to my house. I'm sitting in my room, doing the same thing I was doing at the start of the weekend, watching TV. And all of a sudden, I get an email from my bank saying fraud alert. And I look, and there's a transaction for $1,200 at some random jewelry place. And the email saying, fraud alert, did you make this transaction? Click yes if you did, no if you didn't. So naturally, I click no because I didn't make that purchase. And I immediately get in the car and go to my bank. And I walk into my bank, I sit down with one of the representative people, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, what brings you in? I was like, well, I think someone stole my card number because my debit card's here with me, but someone's using it online to buy things. And he's like, well, we can't have that. Like, give me your account details. I'll look up your account right now. We'll see what's going on. I was like, for sure. So I give him my account details. He looks up my bank account, and there is way more than just one transaction. I thought that it was just that $1,200 like jewelry purchase thing, but there is a fuck ton, like 12 to 15 transactions, each one a minimum of $100, like hundreds and thousands of dollars. Like one of them was for like $1,200, other one was for like $1,500, one was for $400. I think there was another one for like $800. It was just complete chaos in my bank account, right? Like just a bunch of shit being bought from all these random stores. But the thing was, is they were all local stores. Like they were online purchases, but they were online purchases at stores in my area. So that confused me. I'm like, what the hell? Like this person clearly must live nearby. Like who could this be? And it didn't even cross my mind yet that I gave my debit card to my friend's mom a couple days ago. I didn't even think about that as an option yet because I trusted her so much. But then the guy asked me, he's like, have you given anyone your debit card like the last week or so? Like anyone that could have like maybe taken pictures of it? Or did you use it at like a sketchy place where they might like log your information and then go and use it later? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then it hits me. And I'm like, oh shit. I gave my debit card to my friend's mom a couple days ago, but like, there's no way she would steal my money. Like, she's well off. Like, her family does pretty well. He's like, listen, man, if there's one thing I've learned from this whole thing, it's don't assume everybody's a good person because some people, even though they may appear to be good, aren't very good at all. And this dude was right. He was a pretty wisdom-filled, bank employee. I can't lie. He was spitting out facts. So I was like, yeah, man, you're right. I don't know. Like, I'll have to call these places and see if there's any names associated with the orders. And he's like, yeah, I can do it right now. I was like, thank you. So he calls up one of the phone numbers of the stores where my card was used the last 2 days, and he goes, hey, I have an order here. It's for $1,200. I want to know if there's a name associated with it because my client's card has been stolen. And the lady over the phone was like, okay, let me look into that for you. And she ends up finding the order, and it belongs to the same name as my friend's mom, and the address for the order was the same house that I was staying at that weekend. So that confirmed it. My friend's mom stole my credit card number. She probably took a photo or something when she was in line with it, or, something. And she had my details and was buying things with them. And I don't know how I didn't learn my lesson, because I had a similar situation happen in the same kind of way before, where I gave someone my card to buy something, and they took photos of it. But clearly, it happened again. So I call up my friend immediately. I'm like, yo, dude, your mom robbed me. He's like, what? What are you saying? I was like, dude, your mom, that day that I gave her my card to go buy me a milkshake, she must have taken photos or remembered the number or like wrote it down or something, because I'm at the bank right now and there's all these transactions and they're all for items being shipped to your house under your mom's name. Like, she stole my debit card number. And he's like, no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah, hold on. And I start screenshotting everything and taking photos, and I send it to him. And he's like, holy shit, like, these are stores that she shops at. I was like, I told you, man. He's like, I can't believe this. And he's begging me to not call the police because he didn't want his mom to get arrested, because I definitely could have had her arrested at this point. But I didn't want to do that. As much as I was pissed off and betrayed by this woman, I did not want to have my friend's mom arrested, because Brian was still my friend. So I told him I wouldn't do that, but we still needed to do something about this. So Brian called up his dad, and his dad is not the type of person that his mom is, where, she would steal. When Brian told his dad about this, his dad immediately came down to the bank where I was, sat down, and proceeded to freeze all of his and his wife's bank accounts because of how disappointed he was in her stealing. We had the same bank, so he pulled up instantly and just like completely shut everything down for a minute. And he basically cut her off from having any of his money. He also cut himself off in a way because those were also his bank accounts. But he said that he had reserve money at the house. He also offered to pay for everything that she took. But luckily, since they were all online orders and we caught them pretty early, we were able to call all of the stores and get them canceled and refunded. And I didn't have to have any money taken out of my account. I got a new card number though, because mine was compromised. And yeah, in the end, everything was okay. Now, my friend's mom wasn't allowed to have a card on her anymore because of her reckless spending. The bank account got unfrozen later on because he couldn't keep it frozen all week. But Brian's dad became the primary card holder because she couldn't be trusted anymore. And yeah, hopefully she learned her lesson about stealing from people. It's definitely not nice to steal from people, let alone her son's friends. That's not very nice at all. But yeah, guys, I thought the story time was a crazy one. In the end, everything was okay. Everything turned out good. I actually still talk to Brian from time to time. We're not quite as close as we used to be, just because he moved away and stuff. But Brian's a good dude. And Brian, if you're watching this video, thanks for having my back, man. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. I'm back. I don't wanna look back. I don't want it like that. I've been going too fast. All the girls like that. And the fake ones wanna see my pulse go.